A few weeks ago, we got the bombshell announcement that after Amazon acquired MGM several years ago, including the rights to the James Bond franchise that's still controlled by several members of the original family, they decided that they were just going to say, you know what? We don't want to be tied to these people anymore. We don't have to talk to Barbara Broccoli, however you want to pronounce her name. I prefer Broccoli because it sounds funnier. We don't want to have to be tied to them. Let them have the creative rights over this while we have the distribution rights. Give whatever money you have to. And we want full control over everything for this character. And that's exactly what Amazon got. Amazon seizing creative control of James Bond sparks fandom fears. And certainly they should spark fandom fears because we've seen what Amazon has done already to beloved properties, and it hasn't gone very well. And now the idea that not only are they distributing these James Bond movies, but they now have full creative control of whatever they do, of course it's going to have people worried, because a lot of things we heard over the past several months as these negotiations were going on, when we're going to get a next Bond movie, so forth. We had heard the things that they wanted to do, things like a Moneypenny spinoff, things like a gender swap 007, all of this nonsensical bullshit. And now we find out just a few days ago in this Hollywood Reporter article, great art right here for Jeff Bezos, who truly is a Bond villain, by the way, license to shill inside Amazon's 007 takeover. And it's a very extremely long article, but it says they essentially got fed up with Barbara Broccoli after she got fed up with them because they kept pitching her these ridiculous, insane, stupid ideas, and she called them all fucking idiots. Here's the bottom line up front. Amazon paid nearly $1 billion for creative control of the James Bond franchise. When Jeff Bezos read that Barbara Broccoli called the Amazon execs fucking idiots, he reportedly said, "I don't care what it costs, get rid of her." Early ideas that Amazon pitched: a Moneypenny spinoff series, a series on CIA agent Felix Leiter, possibly a project with a female 007. These are all the things that people feared when they heard about the Amazon James Bond connection, because there have been some missteps in the James Bond franchise in recent years. Not too many people are going to argue that. But one thing that they've tried to protect is the cinematic nature of it. These are movies that come out that are meant for the big screen, that are meant to come out in theaters. We don't want to turn this into a content mill farm. We don't want to push out, spinoff for this, spinoff for that, Moneypenny series, this, that, all this bullshit that dilutes the actual IP and a streaming Bond series, all this crap that Amazon would have wanted to funnel straight onto Prime. One of the things standing in their way, Barbara Broccoli. Well, now after all these reports have come out, all the fear that people have, Amazon's decided to put the word out a little bit, at least internally. James Bond, quote, will remain British and male under Amazon's management of the character, according to a report that came out this morning. James Bond, now under the creative control of Amazon MGM Studios following its buyout of producers Barbara Broccoli and Michael G. Wilson, will remain a man and British, according to UK media. Interesting, it says British and not necessarily white, but we'll see. The Daily Mail newspaper reports that following speculation of how 007 character will evolve with Amazon, an internal memo was circulated at the studio stipulating the spy will not change gender or nationality. He also needs to be white. There's been a lot of people out there that are saying you should cast a black British man for this. It's time for James Bond to be black. No, it's time for James Bond to be James Bond. It's actually time for James Bond to be more James Bond than he has for the past several decades with Daniel Craig leading the franchise. It's time to get back to the roots a little bit. And I don't mean the roots like cast a black fucking person. I mean the roots like get back to James Bond, the character, and give fans what they want. I have no belief in Amazon that they'll stick to this. I have no belief in Amazon that they won't go full DEI. I have no belief that Amazon will not turn this into a ridiculous James Bond cinematic universe content mill. That's what I think they want to do, and I think that's a mistake. And, Barbara Broccoli, as many missteps as she made, they were very committed to at least keeping James Bond, not spinning it into this big cinematic franchise, and instead keeping it about these movies, these big movies that come out in theaters that aren't streaming content. I think that's all up for grabs now that we know what Amazon's going to do.